I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it in back bay. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Gianlutis, and I gotta say, guys, I am excited about this week's video. I've been wanting to have these two guests on the show for a while now because they truly bring so much to people, and they truly make an impact. And the beauty is that that impact comes in the form of adventure. It comes in the form of relationship support. It comes in the form of coaching and truly helping people experience life on a whole new level, whether that is stepping into the new for yourself or overcoming some aspect of trauma from the past. As individuals, these two have had their share of life experiences that span so many different areas, including 30 years in the film industry, getting to work with incredible actors and actresses, to running multiple successful businesses from a younger age, to them being trained under incredible mentors in the world like Tony Robbins and many others. And with every experience they've had, whether it's high or low, they've been taught human behavior, which is what this power couple brings to their coaching clients to truly live an adventurous life, to live an empowered life, and to truly live their best life. So guys, everyone watching on your computer or your phones, I give you Scott and Nancy Kiesling. Welcome, guys.
Billy, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I try to capture everything I could for you guys, but you guys have done so much that it's so incredible to have you here. Adventure. Talk to me about adventure, because you guys bring adventure to clients. How did you step into the world of coaching with that being the niche? I love that.
Yeah.
Happenstance. Right? Somebody just shared a quote with me from Bob Ross. Which is, there's no mistakes, only happy accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And that really relates to our adventure therapy. Like you said, we've both had lots of life experiences, and having conversations about those life experiences in the woods with people, right, is really where adventure therapy sort of blossomed from and grew.
Yeah. Your trips.
We have a rock climbing gym, and been a rock climbing guide for 27 years, and love taking people out in the woods and literally talking them off of a ledge. And in those conversations, I found that clients would come back to the gym a day later, a week later, a month later, and so excited, like, Scott, I went in and I asked for that raise that I've been thinking about for 3 years, and that conversation up at 600 feet on that ledge, it gave me the power to go do that, and I got it. And I was like, we're onto something here. And that moment was 22 years ago.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's been evolving ever since.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a wonderful thing, an adventure. The wonderful thing about it is it's not only rock climbing and hanging off of ledges and doing these adventurous things. It's something as simple as saying hello to someone when you're a shy person, or taking a solo trip, because that's really a big thing for a lot of people. Right. Or joining a group that no one, right? Adventure can be any form. And for me, adventure kind of got practicalized out of me, in a sense, from, just becoming an adult and taking on responsibilities. And when I met Scott, I kind of tapped back into that, and it was like this flood of memories of things I loved to do when I was younger, but kind of just stopped because life experience, for responsibility, right? We become an adult. So getting back into that opened up so many doors for me, stepping through fears, growing myself, my businesses, and taking all that stuff to the next level. So when we kind of talked about this and combined it into this coaching experience, we were like, well, that's what we really will provide for other people, So it really blossomed into this amazing thing that just we love.
Yeah.
Well, and that's really the other side of it. We love what we do.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, right? Exactly. You have to work a day in your life if you're loving what you do, right? That's
Right.
awesome. Right. And Nancy, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said adventure for people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hike. It doesn't have to be, it could be traveling, but like you said, adventure could be someone just getting up and going to say hello and stepping through that, we'll say, threshold, that anxiety, because not too many people can do that nowadays because of the social piece. But that one little experience is adventure. And whether people come to you guys to truly experience one of these trips that you do with your coaching program or something different, you guys are bringing this whole sense of adventure on every cylinder. And like I said in the intro, you guys have been trained by so many people. You've been taught human behavior. You've experienced human behavior over all your experiences. How does that come into play when you guys are coaching? Like you guys, even Scott, you mentioned like literally talking someone off a ledge. How does human behavior play into this aspect?
Yeah, great question. So you also mentioned earlier that I had a lengthy film career.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everything that I've learned from human behavior, at least in the beginning, was through that career. When we take a script and we build a character, we build that character, right? We look at the words that are in the script and we identify why the character would act this way, right? Why the character would speak this way. And to do that, to build that character, you have to really be able to look at what the writer has written to get to that place, to go, okay, this character would say this because, maybe it's a trait of an abused young person, right? Because there's traits to everything and patterns.
Right.
And when we look at that, we then can develop a character that you believe to be real and bring you out of your reality and into our make-believe.
Okay.
How old are you, Billy?
I'm 28.
So for 28 years, you've been building the character of Billy.
Right.
Okay. And your life experiences, the things that you've gone through, the things that you understand to be true, the way that you look at the world, builds that character.
Right. Yeah.
And then you make choices from that place.
Right. Exactly.
And so the buildup of human behavior is it's not only that, right? It's not only building the character, but it's also body language.
Yep.
How is this person holding themselves? When we ask a question, do they lean out? Do they fold their arms? Do their shoulders drop? Do they come up? Do they stop breathing? Are there changes in their face color, in the way their eyes move, right? There's these tiny little details that tell huge stories.
Right.
Right? And again, those are the pieces that over 30 years building characters, I got to learn and became pretty good at noticing them.
Yeah.
Well, and then so you take all of that and you apply that to the whoever that you're working with to understand why they tick like they tick today. And then we can also reframe and rewire our brain to be a new type of character, right? To start having different patterns and habits in their life because we understand their makeup.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. And I'll say this, after being in the coaching world, after learning under people, you really see what separates a coach from a great coach. And what you guys just described is exactly it. Being able to understand human behavior, being able to understand the body language, being able to understand if you say one word and someone shakes or someone, like you said, Scott, closes off or something like that. To have a keen eye for that, whether someone watching this right now takes this in or what, truly separates you. As much as I said coach from a great coach, it separates a person where you can start to handle different situations a little bit better. And I know you guys were trained under Tony. I was trained under Tony, and he teaches that in his programs. But I love how you guys kind of developed it in your own experiences as much as you've been trained. Like Scott, you said with the film, and Nancy, you with your businesses, I'm sure that has come up numerous times. But I love that with the human behavior piece, because so many people today overlook human behavior, overlook just the natural thought patterns. And if we truly step in, as Nancy, you said, the rewired process, and to truly step in, like, all right, why am I thinking that? Can I change that thought? If I change that thought, what is the new result I'm going to get? What is the new action I can take? That's life change on like a 101 level. But you guys do that where you're truly empowering people, as a great coach does. But when you're, Scott, I think we talked about this the last time we were on a call, where your adventure therapy, it's coaching, but it's a mix of physiology and being active, taking action, and just kind of enjoying yourself, moving around. I believe your term you used last time was you're closing the gap for someone, right? So dive into that a little bit. How do you guys close the gap for someone from who they are or where they are and who they want to be or where they want to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's different for every client, right? Because of where they are in their life experiences and their character, right? And so one of the first things we do is that active listening. And not only, like we were talking about earlier, not only hear auditory, but active listening to all of it, the body language, the nuances, the details.
Right.
And really getting an understanding of who they think they are and who they really want to be.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of our clients, they've never experienced who they truly are or want to be. Because they've been being somebody for somebody else or for an idea of for so long,
right?
That they're not really sure. So the first step is really looking at that, right? Getting to the root cause of why they live in that, right? Why they haven't found who they are, why they have the beliefs around things that they do. And whether or not those beliefs serve them.
Yeah.
Right. Once we have that and we reframe it, then we can begin to tie it to the physiology, because our body holds score.
Yeah. So who they have been and who they think they are, and for like you, for the last 28 years, for however old they are, their physiology has also been playing out habits and patterns along that time.
Right.
And it's kept score. It's our biggest muscle memory of all the life experiences we've had, whether it's positive, negative, right? It keeps score of that and it plays it out.
Right.
So if we're a anxious person or a depressed person or, whatever those people have going on, their body starts telling them at certain points in time of it could be a trigger that they don't even realize, starts telling them, we should be depressed right now. We should be anxious right now. So even once the mindset you've learned how to notice, gee, I'm feeling a little off, or I'm getting into that story about worry about the future, and you're able to talk yourself out of that, the body will fight to take you back down to its old level. So if we don't tie in the physiology and get it stepping out of its comfort zone, get it into a new program along with the mindset, you'll be on this roller coaster ride of self-growth where you feel better, feel a little good, and then we're back to old ways, up and down, up and down. So a lot of people feel that. They do self-growth, they read books, they take courses, they have all this positive experience, but they still fall into old ways, and they're like, what the hell?
Yep.
That's why, because our body keeps bringing us back to that pattern of you should be sitting in a chair right now playing video games. You should be sitting in a chair right now sad or depressed or sitting on your couch not doing anything.
And
we've got to change that up to bring that around.
And a big indicator of that for folks is really when we start to, and awareness is always the key in everything, right? Everything that Nancy and I do and teach and preach is awareness.
Yeah.
And in that awareness, we can sort of hear ourselves in that mode of, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I have a really sophisticated meter system that I'm going to share with you and your folks here.
Awesome.
And like, pay attention, everybody, because this is really sophisticated.
It's tough to follow.
I'm going to go slow. I'm going to go slow.
Okay, good.
If it feels icky, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it feels good, do more of it.
There you go.
And we can find ourselves in these icky places and asking ourselves, like, why am I sitting here? Why don't I get off the couch? Why can't I go do this? Why do I don't have motivation? I've done all this mindset work. I read that book. I watched that YouTube video. Again, because the body keeps score. And until we change that physiology, until we close that gap,
right,
where we really begin to live as one whole unit,
yep,
then we find that place of encouragement, of empowerment, of excitement, of adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome, because if you really break it down, your adventures, your adventure therapy, your coaching for that matter, like you said, it's awareness. And that mindset's a piece of that, physiology is a piece of that, but truly taking someone and breaking it down to these pieces and showing them true personal power, true personal development, true personal growth stems from these little decisions of, like Nancy, you touched on it, where, okay, I know that I usually play video games at this time. I know that I usually think this thought at this time, or need to be depressed at this time, and then to alter it. And your body's going to fight back because of that muscle memory, or just body memory for that matter, genetic memory. And then to truly step into that's life change on a whole different level. And I think when a lot of people come to that, they think of the change as scary, but they also think of change as tough. And when you really understand it, I don't want to say it's tough. Sometimes I even use the word effortless, because it just kind of unfolds for you. But your guys' coaching stems on the line of higher self coaching just as much, because you're tapping into someone's person they want to become, which I believe is the higher self. We're always trying to become this greater version of ourselves. And when you can truly take a step back, you can truly step into, okay, like Scott, you said, if this feels icky, don't do it. If this feels good, do it. And if it feels good, depending on what that thing is that you're trying to do, 9 times out of 10, that is going to raise you up to a higher level, whether spiritual, whatever term you want to use for it. And you're kind of stepping into your own. And to connect with everything you guys said, when you're stepping into your own, you're doing these new routines, these new patterns, these new behaviors. It's like riding a bike, where the first couple of times you're like, oh, you might trip, you might fall, you might hit a rock or something, but then you guys you get the groove, and then you're riding at this new version of yourself, and then life just truly starts to unfold for you, where that, I believe that next step is the manifestation route, where it's like, okay, I want to go and do this. Oh, there's the opportunity, X, Y, and Z. But I feel like your guys' adventure therapy, it truly is so much more than just a hike. It's so much more than stepping into it. It's truly an adventure for, I want to use the term the soul, but people watching this might be, it's just an adventure of your entire self growing in so many different ways. That's improvement. That's self right there.
And it really is a soulful experience, right? It's a transcendence experience,
right?
Because you will not come back the same person that you have ever been.
Right. Yeah.
not only is each and every adventure specifically designed for the pieces of the mindset that we've already worked with,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're designed to bring those things back up in people, right? We want to shake it up so that they feel it in that moment, so that we can literally talk them off a ledge and they get that empowerment because they are doing it.
Yeah.
Right? They're there, they're changing that mindset in that moment. They're having that shift. And for a lot of people, it's like, oh, that sounds really big. But as you indicated, right, it's small. We talk about 1 degree shifts. A lot of times I'll use the analogy of a brick walkway. And, you know, if you've ever been on a brick walkway, when they built it, they didn't walk over with a pile of bricks and throw them and there was a walkway. Somebody intentionally, right, with intention, laid each brick and they tapped on each brick and they put a little sand under each brick and they checked each brick. When that brick was perfect, they moved on to the next brick. When we take our life that way, when we take on ourselves that way,
right,
in these 1 degree shifts, we get the 360 degree change without the anxiety or the overwhelm of this big giant thing,
which makes it seem effortless, like you said.
Well,
you know, and it really is like, it's an intuition thing. Like you said, it is this higher self. We all have it. We have all experienced those moments of a knowing, right? So we all have the ability to follow our heart and have our life unfold in the way that we would really desire. What gets in the way is our thought process that talks us out of everything, right? Because of our beliefs of what people think we should do, and right. So all of that keeps us from following that initial feeling we have, which is your intuition. It is that space. So when we go on these adventures, when we're in this environment, you're the most present you've really ever been, because you're being constantly reminded to be present, to not be in the past of, you know, whatever it is, or in the future of whatever that is. So it allows you to have this present experience for an entire week. And again, that builds this muscle that you get to take home with you and apply to everyday life.
Right. Yeah. That's phenomenal. I love that. It all comes together, but I love it. And then just to even add to as a final piece for adventure, when you guys are out in these adventures, you're in the woods, you're hiking, whatever it is, being outside in the woods, or a grounding aspect to it, that plays such a role of being in the present moment. And right? Yeah. I mean, you guys are bringing people exactly where they need to be to rethink so much and create new thoughts on so much, but then to step into a whole new version. I love that.
Well, and the power, not only the power of adventure, but the power of nature and what it does again for our soul, for that piece of us that's us. Right? Not this bodysuit, not the cage of the mind and the story we tell ourselves, but us, the true us. And when you stand next to or rappel through a waterfall, or you're standing next to this powerful, giant, beautiful waterfall, things become in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Right? And then with those conversations, with that awareness, with that presentness, that power can heal you, change your life, drive you to do incredible things just in that moment.
Right. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome. I love it. I love the adventure therapy you guys do. And then to kind of transition, you guys, there's 2 other facets to your coaching. You got relationship coaching, and then you coach coaches as well. But talk to me a little about the relationship coaching. Like, how do you help people in that aspect too?
Yeah. So again, it comes back to that relationship with themselves, you know. So a lot of, you know, we help in different realms, whether it's people looking to have success in their love life because they've had failed relationships and can't seem to, get the success or achieve the relationship they really want, or people that are in relationships, but it's not what they imagined, or it's lost its, thrill, or the foundation has crumbled.
Parts of it feel icky.
Yeah, parts of it feel icky, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So really helping people to cultivate stronger, healthier relationships by becoming a better version of themselves, right? And again, Scott and I both were in this place of having failed relationships, being in the relationships that were like, okay, or not good, or terrible, right? We've all had those kind of scale. And learning that, well, we had a hand in that, even though you might blame the other person because you got cheated on, or they did something stupid, or you had a hand in the reason that the relationship was never truly connected. And looking at that to find out, well, where are you holding back? Where are you unavailable? Why aren't you sharing your vulnerability? What fears are there, right? Because everybody has those going into relationships. And normally we put on a mask and we kind of pretend, well, we're here. We tell stories that we've told other people, maybe not a lot of people. So it builds this, well, it's a vulnerability, but we're only going so deep. So there's a surface-based relationship that we end up building with most people, especially romantic partners. And then we never get that deep connectedness with our partners, and we wonder why. So when we start being able to be vulnerable with ourselves and go to those depths that we have to go to, which we can't do unless we have an accountability partner or buddy or coach to take you to those levels, because the human mind just won't do it by itself. It doesn't matter how strong you think you are, you'll hit a wall where you're going to want to walk out. And that's what happens. So people don't go to the depths they have to go to. Right. So when you get a coach to come in, takes you to those depths of getting to the vulnerability you have to get to with yourself, all of a sudden, all that stuff starts to open up, and you start to have an understanding of, I get why things haven't worked out, and I see what I need to do to have the healthy, thriving, vulnerable relationship I really want to have with my partner or my future potential partner. And all of that starts to really unfold for our clients and build that for them. And they get to start seeing it in real life, in real time, and having those outcomes in their experiences.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And excuse me. And our coaching for coaches, Nancy and I started our business as a side hustle, like most people, and learned and grew and, had our other jobs and our other businesses that were going. And I'll just be honest, right? We spent a lot of money.
I get that.
Learning
well over $50,000, right? Learning all of these things that people said we needed to know.
Right.
The majority of that was way ahead of where we were or needed to be.
I get that.
But they want to push the funnels and the ads and all these different things on beginners, people that don't have clients yet. Build a website, get cards, get your certification,
build funnels.
Build funnels, right?
Yeah.
And we did not have success.
Yeah. I get that.
And we couldn't figure out why. And then, of course, because we've always had coaches through our lives, we went, okay, we've spent all this on all these coaches and we're not getting where we need to be. Why?
Yeah.
We needed to really look at that. And through that process, again, that investigation process, we figured out that, okay, that's a bunch of things we don't need to do. Yet.
Yeah.
And so what we've done is we've developed a system that we've learned through, again, lots of other coaches. We've taken great pieces from all those courses that we took, that we spent that money on. And we've really developed a system that gets coaches from zero to client without really spending a lot of money.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right? And it gets them from, I have a passion and this is really what I want to do, but I don't know where to start.
Mhm.
And it builds that foundation so that they can have a successful coaching business moving forward.
Right. I get that.
Sustainable.
And sustainable.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. Yeah. Talk about all things working together. You guys may have spent all that money, but now you have all these different traits and things you can bring to people, whether they want to be a coach or even, as Nancy, you said, with the relationship piece, the self piece. You guys have been through the process, so now you can guide people around the roadblocks in the process or the pitfalls in the process. So, you know, it's just success. Either in now you guys have success and there's just more success coming your way because you've been through all of it, right?
Yeah.
And to give that to our viewers right now, no matter what whether it's their coach trying to get things up and running, whether they're single, married, whatever it may be, and they're trying to understand more, or they're just trying to tap into a different version of themselves, one step of action, one new decision, as Scott and Nancy's stories have told us, and they explain this right now, one little decision in the right direction opens up a world, whether that is spending money on all these tools that you weren't ready for yet, that now you can bring to people because you are ready. And then now these people will understand no matter what level they come to. It all comes together where I can use this. And if you take that one step into adventure, we'll say, as Nancy said at the start of this video, and try something new for themselves, oh my goodness, a whole new version of yourself just unfolds, as we keep saying. But I think you guys truly, you hit everything on all cylinders to help people, to, like we said at the start, to create an impact, to live their best life, to just live a life of adventure. And adventure is whatever someone makes it to be.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. So, you know, a final question, or one of the last questions, I'll ask you guys this. If someone's watching this video right now, they just learned everything they can about adventure therapy from you guys and the quick questions we did, or they know that you can help them relationship stuff, what would you tell, who is your ideal client? Who is someone that would come to you and be like, I need help. I watched this video. What can I do? Like, what would you tell a viewer right now that is thinking of stepping into the area that you guys have?
Yeah. I think the common denominator all our clients have is they are motivated in the sense of they want to not waste time, right? Everything we talked about, that the money we spent, the education we've had, what we give to people is a shorter version of what we went through, whether it's our relationship troubles we went through. I mean, I was 33 by the time I met the love of my life. I imagined I was going to be, 25, right? So a lot of people are in that mode of like, I've wasted time, right? Even business, I've wasted time. We could have been successful in our business 2 years prior if we had had what we're teaching people today.
Right.
So the motivation of, I don't want to wait any longer. I want to get to that place as quick as possible because life's short and we all know it, right? We all know people who are not with us today at the same age that we're at because life gets cut short sometimes. Right. So why waste any more time than we have to? So that's really that common denominator of people who are ready, they're motivated, they want to have the life they want to have, and they're sick and tired of spinning their wheels.
Right.
So it's that thing of get going. There is a faster way, and we'd be happy to show people that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And, as Scott said before, you're closing the gap for people in a faster way. So I completely agree with that. So anyone watching this right now, look Scott and Nancy up. My final question for you guys is, where can they find you? I know where you guys are on Facebook and websites, but tell the people right now, where can they find you guys to get more information or even reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I honestly think the easiest thing is Scott and Nancy Kiesling in Google.
It'll pull up everything.
It'll pull up our website. It'll pull up our Facebook. It'll pull up anything you want to know about us. There's pages and pages.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I can tell any viewer watching this right now, you know, I've been friends on Facebook with Scott and Nancy for, you know, maybe 6 months at this point. And whether I go on Facebook to do business stuff or what, I'll catch one of their posts and I'll stop the business stuff because I have to think. Because their posts are powerful, they're empowering, they cause you to think. And as this entire video has been doing for you viewers, is to help you think on what the next step is for you. Are you, as Nancy just touched on, are you motivated to take the next step? Are you thinking on whatever area that is, whether it's relationship stuff, whether that's just, do I read this book or do I read that book? And take the time to think on what decision you can make. And believe me, if you follow them on Facebook, they bring the information, they bring the knowledge, they bring the value. So check them out on that. As Scott said, look them up on Google. You'll get everything you can. But guys, leave the viewers with something right now. What is a lasting message that you want to leave with people, either to find you or to just a last message of empowerment? What would you tell someone right now that came to you for that?
So I really always go back to change your story and change your life.
Okay.
If you can notice where you're focusing your thoughts and be aware of your emotional home, right? Where are my thoughts and where am I emotionally tied to those thoughts? How am I feeling? Again, I go back to my very sophisticated system. If within that we don't feel empowered and wonderful and joyous, then focus on something different. Tell yourself a different story about where you are in your life or what you see in your life, and tell a story that you want to hear. Write a chapter that you would love to read, because you can.
Right.
And it isn't hard and long and challenging. You can make that choice right now in this moment to think differently.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to take a different action than you normally do. We always, human behavior again is to live in that routine, that habit of making decisions out of that same mindset. So if you're feeling pulled right now and you're feeling like, gee, this sounds interesting, but you talk yourself out of it, beware that you're following that same old pattern that's going to take you down that same old road, because you're making decisions out of that old mindset. The new mindset, the future you, would feel something, feel pulled to something and go, I got to make that happen. What can I do to make that happen? And we figure it out. We ask, how can I, not I can't. And then all of a sudden it unfolds and we figure out how to make something happen. It becomes a priority in our life.
Yeah. I love both of those responses. And it's funny, Scott's holding the pen right now, and we all hold the pen of our story to write a new page, right? Whether that's on an actual page and you're describing where your actions are going to be, or something as simple as a thought, as Nancy just touched on. Changing the thought could change so much, and they just stockpile at that point. So I love those responses, guys. Viewers, take that, run with it, and use it, because that's you being motivated. That's you moving forward into something greater for yourself. And I think, as the three of us could agree on, the second you take a step into something greater for yourself, whatever it is, oh my goodness, the doors that open, right? In whatever form, right? That's the beauty of it. But I appreciate you guys being a part of Once a Week. I appreciate you guys bringing this message and just explaining to the viewers what your coaching is all about. So anyone watching this, I'm going to have their links in the credits after this ends. Go find them, look them up, see what they're all about. They're all over the place in traveling aspects for adventure, but I looked at their website. I'm sitting there like, all right, when can I fit that in? Because it looks phenomenal. So people, go check them out. But again, Scott and Nancy, I thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope this isn't the last time I get you on here for a powerful message, but I thank you for just explaining everything that your coaching is all about.
Thanks for having us, Billy. Really, we appreciate it, and we do appreciate the opportunity to share some value with your viewers, to help them in any way that we can. And again, we're here for everybody. Look us up and come hang out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, thank you, Billy.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I'm glad I got you guys here. So that being said, viewers, look them up. Like we said, if you haven't already, like this message below, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get that number going so we can spread this video to more people. If Scott and Nancy were saying something and someone popped in your head for whatever reason it was, whatever topic we were talking about, to me, that is a clear-cut sign that someone could use this message. Please share that message to that person and help someone else out. Take that step, make a new decision, and spread the love, spread the help for someone else. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button below, because the more that number goes up, the more people we can help. And at the end of the day, once a week, that's all we're about, is just helping people. And if you guys are interested in Scott and Nancy's coaching, like I said, you'll find it. If you're interested in my coaching, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can set up a free strategy session with me, and we'll dive deep into all these different areas. But again, Scott and Nancy, thank you, and I look forward to our next one.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks so much, Billy.
Awesome. See you guys.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is wearing